This is just like Soto? No, Soto is very, very shallow. This, the story is very deep. I recognize that. But the nuggets of information are all over the place. And if you just play the story in the way the game presents it to you, you hardly get enough information to make any sense of it. And that's where I'm at. I've only got the surface level stuff, and I'm finding it extremely hard to follow. With Warframe, because as I understand it, they would release like a chapter of this, and then you had like 6 months to like digest and loop through the game and watch YouTube videos from other content creators where they explain to you what happened, and then the next thing would come out. And I am just playing through what the game is suggesting to me in order, and I'm not following any of it. I'm trying. I really am. Okay, I want to find this lore wall now. Let's see. It doesn't help you can do things out of order. Yeah, I will say as like one thing, and I'm trying to talk neutrally right now. You know, I don't want to be a negative Nancy about this. One thing I will say is it would really help if they made it so that the quests, like when you click on one, it recommends do this and this first. Because I can't tell you guys how many times I clicked on a quest and chat started screaming at me, do not do this before that. Do not do that before this. And just like, they were adamant about it. And it's like, okay, maybe the game should say that.
Please, remember to hand in any voca
hit escape,
you
go to Necrolis fast travel, and click
analysis.
A visitor? Quite rare these days. We never receive visitors. Be pragmatic in all aspects of life.
Higher standing required. Am I in the right location? Muck, does it matter which infinite crafting tools you buy and can use them on every toon? No, they can only be equipped on one character at a time. Yes, it matters. Well, if you get one, the only thing that matters is do you get ones with a glyph box or without a glyph box. And if you get the glyph box, pick the volatile magic tools. They are the best ones 99% of the time.
Zata. Truth. It began long before us. We who now live our perfect and dull, endless lives. It began long before these moon palaces and body markets hurling around our golden sun. It began long before our light coil thinkers, our radiation wars, our oil, smoke. It began with us, the continuity and its twin, wanderlust. The need for unseen shores deep in our marrow. No judge, jester, queen, or king can escape this old blood. We are nomads, eternal. And when no ocean, mountain, or sky could contain us, our gaze hungered starward. Afar, they mocked us with their brittle light, winking and jeering like dangling iotons, forever out of reach, illuminating the truth. Immortal as we are, we die with the sun. That's where I come in. Jahu. Form. My departure was a day less than any other. When I stepped inside the bell, I saw no crowd through its seriglass, no skeptical onlookers, no regal send-off. They all had given up on me and my paradoxical formulations. The wasted years had all shown the void to be just that. Nothing. No energy, no entanglement, no form. To spacefaring ambitions, a dead end. On the day, my laboratory was mostly vacant of witnesses, most of all of expectation. Only my sluggish attendants, my sagacious Kavat, Kalimos, And of course, my daughter. I had raised her alone, but with inconsistent vigor. In those eyes, her mother's, I did see a terrible reflection of a man that did not exist. A brave and principled man about to make history. In truth, he was a void himself, an outcast, a joke, a nothing. Driven by my humiliation, failure had made me bitter and reckless. I would dive into the depths myself to prove them all wrong. I gave the signal. My daughter grasped the lever. Kalemos then belted out a desperate, rasping growl. But it was too late. Vom. Order. The calipers yawed open the wall between worlds, stretching there a black trapezoidal gap. A door, a mouth. It yawned in the light of the room, splintering it to mesmerizing, unearthly hues. And I, inside the bell, dropping obliquely toward it from my gallows. Mass and time rippled as a sudden vortex jawed before me. My head was vapor, my feet lodestone. The bell around me flexed like a rat paralyzed in a winding, gulping snake. I faltered in the awe of it, stumbling against the ceraglass, and with that shifted the bell's path through the wall. It grazed the caliper membrane, the edge of the door. No worldly edge was as thin, as sharp as could split.
Hold on. You guys ever read something, like you had to read it for school, and it was like really, really boring, and you get to the last word, and you kind of blink, and you realize you don't remember the last page, and you have to reread it? That's happening to me right now. It's like this guy talks like he's like either Shakespeare or he is like writing the Bible, and I'm having to like decipher every sentence he says and translate it into English.
Trapezoidal gap, a door, a mouth. It yawned in the light of the room, splintering it
like
to
absorbing this as work.
Unearthly hues. And I, inside the bell, dropping obliquely toward it from my gallows. Mass and time rippled as a sudden vortex jawed before me. My head was vapor, my feet lodestone. The bell around me flexed like a rat paralyzed in a winding, gulping snake. I faltered in the awe of it, stumbling against the ceraglass, and with that shifted the bell's path through the wall. It grazed the caliper membrane, the edge of the door. No worldly edge was as thin, as sharp as could split even light. As the bell faintly grazed it, the ceraglass was all at once rendered like strips of flesh by Dax's blade. My enclosure was beheaded in an instant, but still, I fell, sideways, into the void.
Okay, so the vehicle he's using to go through the void got damaged, and he fell out of it.
Thas. Chaos. Death was on me, I was certain. I was face down, eyes clenched, my heart pulsing the last of its seconds, and my lungs burning the last of its air. A sudden nostalgia gripped me. I grasped desperately for memory of a storm just past, the fumbling pitch of a child's song. Yet all these thoughts seemed to steal away from my mind like smoke through a vent. I would die empty. I then became aware of another sensation, physical, a web of pain, needles itching into my arm. At once I realized I was alive, laying in the bell's shattered ceraglass.
Oh no,
I
he's
groped
still
the
in the
ground,
bell. Whatever the bell is.
the floor of my laboratory. So, I had never left. And so, I had failed. Again. I heard a crunch alongside me. Someone stepping through the shattered glass. With great shame, I gasped and rose my head to face my daughter above me. But as I opened my eyes, it wasn't her. It was me.
Okay, so he successfully time traveled and met another time's version of himself.
Riss. Light. The senselessness of it. The paradoxic, the vague, untimed form. I was alone, but not. For I stood there confronted by myself. A twin, but no brother. A reflection, but with dimension. Behind him, no horizon, but a vast broiling sea of caustic light pierced at random by black pin stars. And closer, around me, a gale of flowing vapor, profane in color, billowing relentlessly into the nascent lack, seeking all directions. I was standing on a precipice of familiar stone, jagged and unanchored as though cleaved directly from the very floor of my laboratory. I wondered at the vapor's path, smoking outward more, leaving behind now the walls, the filigree gold, the rare cuts of marble from my home. I knew at once the vapor's source. I turned away, back toward the wall, the trapezoid I had yawed into it. Vapor erupted inward at the gap, but not just from there. For as I rolled my eyes back, I saw the same. A great steam of scintillation smoking out from my skull. Dumb in awe, I faced toward my chimerical twin. He spoke. Kra, time. An old name, unspoken in the centuries since my mother reared me. A soft hiss, soothing as a viper's gaze. Little Bengal. The other me reached out, offering his hand, gliding toward me without moving, as though the distance between us was now collapsing. A confusion, most euphoric, filled my mind. With the shred of wit that remained, I decided that I should run for my life. At once, crazed and frantic, I fled. But I made no forward progress. Instead, the world compressed ever more around me, as though I were an anchor pulling the shore to reach. When I arrived at the door, or rather, the door arrived at me, I howled, hurling myself inside, out. And then and there I was, lost and unlost, howling on the floor in harmony with my wretched Kalimos, lacerated in flesh and heart, scattered as the bell glass, spilling blood and stomach on the cold stone floor. But I sensed the other there, at the wall's breach behind me, reaching still. I screamed, but my voice was gone. Forever. I looked, but my eyes would never see again. I swept my fist across the floor, snatching broken shards, and in gripping tightly, I filled my hands with ink. Close it, I wrote.
That is quite the line. Gripping a glass shard tightly until I filled my hands with ink.
Netra. Decay. Time, to us, is all but conquered. Our sacred kuva moves us on to new skin. We numb to our daily, yearly trifles. And remedy those memories that bring lasting misery. With all our misdeeds, our excess, our indignity, we are haunted by nothing. But not for me. For with each passing day, there grew within a tumorous idea. It was minute in those early days, the pale reaching digits severed on the floor, studied with reverence, with greed. And it swelled larger in the latter days. The regal domes, the rail dedications, the unholy Zariman parade. I had put the stars within reach. But at what cost? I never spoke of him, that man trapped in the wall. And while there have been countless souls who have followed me through with their light skippers and field wave skins and vari-eyed instruments, not a single one ever saw him. Me. And so it is that I will not take the Kuva now, or ever again. This is the last skin I'm in. Because of this idea, that I cannot be sure that in all that smoked commotion, in all that panic and fear, in that bending light and blinding dark, was it I who escaped? Or the other?
I don't understand. So, he saw like another version of Albrecht in the void, and is he calling that other Albrecht the man in the wall? And he sees it from time to time, but when other people travel through the void, they don't see it? Okay, looks like this is the last one.
Lok. Void. From brooding gulfs are we beheld by that which bears no name. Its heralds are the stars it fells, the sky and earth aflame. Corporeal laws are unwrit as suns and love retreat. To cosmic madness, laws submit, though stalwart minds entreat. In luminous space, blackened stars they gaze, accuse, deny. Roiling, moaning, this realm of ours in madness lost shall die. Carrion hordes trill their profane accord with eldritch plans. To cosmic forms from tangent planes, we end as we began.
Okay. Minor note, it's interesting that all of these things say I'm not allowed to use them. That's weird, because we just watched them all. Okay, so Albrecht and the Operator have a evil counterpart in the Void. Maybe everyone does, but the two of them are major characters, so we're focused on them. So whenever we saw, like, Albrecht, some of the times, like, when we saw the Albrecht that was, like, smiling evilly next to the evil Operator, that was probably the man in the wall Albrecht. Remember what form does the indifference usually take when interacting with you? I don't even know what the indifference is. On the mission that we just did, it occasionally had the indifference talking in subtitles, and I think that's the first time I've ever seen the indifference talking. The standing message is meant for the wall covering them before you do the Whispers quest. Both were the man in the wall. The murmur / indifference / man in the wall are all the same thing. I thought the murmur was the giant angry stone statue. Because he was like, look out, it's the murmur, and then the big statue was attacking with all of its little monsters. It's all the Void given sentience or personality. I don't know exactly, but wasn't New War locked behind Necroloid rank 3? I'm rank 1 everything in the game, so no, New War's not locked behind anything. The indifference of the man in the wall is the omnipresent Void entity, not necessarily Entrati. You see him too, who calls you kiddo. Rank 0, actually? Okay, rank 0 then. Okay. Alright. On a technicality, the Murmur are the Man in the Wall's underlings, but existentially part of him or it. They removed all time gates and gear locks from the main story for better and for worse. It was locked behind having a Necromech and a Railjack and a Paracesis. I have a Railjack. I know I have the recipe for a necromech. I don't know what a paracesis is. The Indifference was that big wall thing that came out at the end of New War. Okay, that is still one of the most confusing moments for me in the story. We were trying to save Lotus, and she summoned that big wall thing and just, like, yeeted it into the void. You're saying that big wall is the man in the wall? She didn't summon it? Okay, look, she waved her hand, it appeared, and then it, like, flew away from her. It looked like she summoned it. Like, it literally appeared as she brought her hand up. But building the Necromech needed Necroloid rank 3, I think. I don't know. I know after I finished the story with the family, when I first met them, they sent me the recipe in the mail for the Necromech. I haven't made it, because chat told me it wasn't a frame, it was just like a temporary vehicle, so I didn't really focus on that. It's more that she attracted the wall. Okay. Alrighty. It used to be required for some of the main quests, but I got stuck on it for weeks. The Void is like the Warp. I was kind of thinking that when they talked about how you could use it to fast travel long distances, and also you could use it to pull energy, I was thinking of the Warp from Warhammer 40k. But this whole thing where it's like the Void is also like a big angry entity, and it's also a wall, and it's also a man in the wall, and it's also an evil operator, that is what I'm having trouble following to great extent. Prerequisites the Lotus Eater's quest. Where's the Lotus Eaters? Wait, I did that. Why is it locked? Something that wasn't particularly well explained is that when Entrati shut the portal down, it closed around the Indifference finger, cutting it off. This finger was then cloned and used for void travel. Oh my god, the finger that's in the back of the railjack? I know, hold on, I know what you're talking about right now. Just a second, let me go to the railjack, because that is something I've seen before, and I've been like, what in the f is that?
The opposite of a small truth is a lie. The opposite of a great truth is another great truth.
Shoot, it's here somewhere. I gotta remember where it is.
Ah, Tenno.
Damn it, I'm so confused. Sorry. I know I've seen it in here before. That's the front of the ship. That's not it. There it is. Reliquary Drive. Yeah. So you're saying the evil entity of the Void was reaching through the portal. We slammed the portal shut on it, cut off its finger, they cloned the finger, and a bunch of clones of the fingers is what allows all the ships to do warp travel. What the shit? Okay. Yeah, I don't think that was ever explained to me quite well. They forgot to add Angels of Zariman as a prerequisite to the Old War, or you need Hex Rank 3 in 1999 to actually finish the quest properly. You completed Lotus Quest already? I think you need to do Angel of Zariman, maybe? I'm not sure. The little UI thing is kind of messed up. It's like, I clearly require something else, but it doesn't properly say what it requires. Probably Angels. Mad that humanity is using the fingers for free. Wally said he doesn't have a problem with us using the finger. It may require Kavla rank. All the wiki says is Lotus Eaters and go to Sanctum Anatomica. I don't have time to start another one right now. I am just curious, like, what this requires. Hang on a second.
Now that you're here, Tenno, let's put you to work. Ah, Tenno, to better times ahead.
Might be fixed on relog. Hang on a sec. Let me try this out. Hang on. I'm just gonna hide it while I punch in my password here in a sec. It's probably better to do Angels first anyway, even though it doesn't move the story much. I'm not sure I will. Like, I'm almost done with all the quests the game has as far as the main quest, right? There's just Angels and then this last thing. Hang on, it's launching. Ah, typo. Okay. Till the next update? Yeah. No Steam auto login? No, I had some trouble getting it to work. No, this is still not working. Okay. Check your inbox.
Tenno, none of us could hear the device that was calling from the abyss of history. The daughter of Hunhao
I have so many mails now.
and almost succumbed to its call. She raised her voice in song to drown it out, and that we did hear. I should have known she was waiting for you. You answered a call and, in a way, found an answer for me. The time is almost right to finish the Kalimos sequence. I will soon be able to send you to the city-state of Hulvania in the plague year of 1999. A most
already did
perilous
that.
time. Without your equipment, you would surely perish. Luckily, the vessels have a connection to Albrecht's volunteers that
Why do you sound so
believe
pissed?
I can exploit. You will not arrive unarmed, nor unarmored. We won't be late.
Was I supposed to get this mail before I went to 1999? No, because it gives old peace. So no, it's just... Yeah,